Start recording, stop recording button.
Okay.
Speech off.
Alright, guys. So, the reason why I'm doing this face front is because I gotta get used to it, especially for my class. So, this will be a little bit of practice. Okay. So, what did I come on here to talk about? Because it actually. Oh, okay. So, things are going really well right now. And it's like, it's finally a break from all the bull crap. You know, finally a peace of mind. My my house isn't falling apart. It doesn't smell. You know what I mean? It was wow. That was a really terrible experience, and I won't get too much into that. It just know it was gross, and yeah. So I wasn't with it, and when I got here, I was a little sketched. Like I don't know if I want to do this. And basically, see, now I'm choking up because I know you're looking at me. That's so weird. I hate that. Okay, so, but basically, when I got here, things were kind of rough. But then once things like calmed down a little and just kind of resolve the issue, it was cool. It's been cool. It's been nice. It's been quiet. It's been, you know, really awesome, pretty much. So, anyways, so I came on here to talk about this play I'm reading for theater, right? So, sorry if I get fucked up with my camera, guys. I'm not usually the type to put my face, so it's a little different. So, yeah, so this play is called Oedipus Rex, and I'm just like, the story, okay? The story keeps me captivated, but then I start getting tired because I've been doing a lot. So I'm really trying to get through these. But the story itself is fucking psycho, man. So like basically, okay, there's a king and a queen, right? Of course. And a oracle, which if you guys don't know what that is basically someone who can foresee the future. An oracle told the king that if and when he bared a son with his queen, basically they would be dooming themselves, which is pretty fucking badass. I don't know, that's a pretty fucked up curse, but yeah. So basically what was gonna happen, so I don't have to go into full deeds. Basically what happened was the son was born, okay? So the king and queen were fucking scared, out of their mind, which they should be. You know what I'm saying? They should be fucking scared. That's a scary ass curse. Because he was going to kill the father and then marry the mother. So, so what ends up happening is they bind the kid's legs, the little baby, and they left him out to die. And so what happened was, instead of him dying, a shepherd comes along and sees the child and tends to him, and then he takes him to another guy who basically raises the kid. Well, no, that takes on the kid temporarily. And then they ended up giving the child to a different king and queen of a different land or whatever. So the child was nursed back to health. He was real strong. He was pretty much a tough guy. Given the circumstances, the shepherd had found him barely alive. So he beat the odds. But it was really crazy. So he ends up being adopted by this other family. Grows up as a prince, of course. And he started to question his parents because he didn't look like them. Basically is what they're trying to say, is he didn't look like them, and it bothered him as a child, and he wanted to know more about his parenthood. So basically he found out about the story that this was later though. But like he found out the story of what he was destined to do, like, kill his father and marry his wife. But they didn't say king or queen, so what I mean, he didn't even have a fucking clue. Poor guy. I really empathize with him. That was sad. So then he basically, after that, he basically goes rogue because he thinks, those are his birth parents. But, he never had, the actual confirmation, I guess. So he feared that he was going to kill his father that raised him. So he left, and got away so it would never happen. And so what ended up happening is during his journey, he had like, I guess a couple guys with him or whatever. This old man walks up, whacks him on the back of the head and says, "You're moving slow," with like a thick ass stick. I mean, we're talking Greek shit, I think. I think this is Greek. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to double check. But it's fucking crazy. So he kills the man, and him and his men kill the other people, like his followers that were with him. And so he didn't think nothing of that or whatever. Well, then he ends up meeting this woman, falls in love with her, becomes the king, has children with her, and everything's going great for him. He's a good leader, everything. He's got his whole life together, but he doesn't know what the fuck, So basically, long story short, he finds out, that the guy that he killed was his actual father. He was the king. So when he made his merry ass way to those lands, he ended up marrying this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. So this story, dude, and he's so upset, like, because he got let down. It still happened. He just didn't know about it. Like, he didn't understand it. So it was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing was fucked up. The poor guy. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, because like it just really like fucking like it sends you through like a suspense moment, and then a what the fuck? You know what I mean? Huh? So that's the gist of the story, but the queen actually ends up like committing suicide. But I'm leaving out so many details. I'm only telling you the beginning of it anyway. So that's how the introduction is. It's kind of like a summary. So yeah, you guys, if you get a chance, I know it's old. It can get boring, and then you're like, what does thy fuck mean? Or whatever the fuck. So I'm learning it as like I'm hearing it. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what the fuck they mean. And I really like that shit. I like, in my poetry, I like to put thy and thee and stuff like that. And it's not the whole paragraph, but it's kind of something I like to do when I'm writing. So anyway, so that was really cool. And I just wanted to share that with you. So I'm working on trying to be more thorough with people, if that makes sense. Basically, trying to live up to what I say I'm gonna do with them. And I'm just really like, I'm liking the results, and I see the difference on how when you talk to someone, it depends on who you're talking to. And I just finally started understanding it because I took a class, because I'm, as everyone knows me, I'm very blunt and I like to get the point across. I want you to understand exactly what the fuck I'm saying. So when it comes to that, I just have a different language. You know, I use a lot of profanity. Now that's fun. It just, and usually when I'm saying profanity stuff, it's usually humorous and, not like a part of it. Like the meaning to me is different. So it was kind of cool. So I had my nephews a couple weekends ago, and there was a conversation that came up, and I was like, nigga, what the hell? And Zoe pipes up and gets mad at me and says, don't call me nigga. And I'm like, oh, my bad. First off, my bad. But second off, I was like, what does nigga mean? Because I just wanted to hear the kids' point of view on what it meant. And it pissed me off with the result. They said black. Okay? No. It's ignorant. It's just an abbreviation of the word nigger. Okay? So I started really thinking. It kind of threw me out. And I was like, actually, no, it means ignorant. So I told her, I told her what the word meant. And, if you didn't believe me, look it up. You know what I'm saying? But I started realizing, no offense, first off, because I don't want everybody to start thinking I'm freaking out or I'm, being racist. I am mixed with several different things, and I understand the blacks and what they want to do or whatever. I don't even know why we call them the blacks. Like, why can't we call them just people? Everybody is equal in my eyes, and I don't like many people, but every race is different because of their culture, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I don't want to get into the whole slave shit. I'm just gonna leave that alone. But like it's just sad, because basically we are all calling each other ignorant. And then on top of it, if you look at any culture, any language, like when we say bitch, you know what I mean? Or we say damn, in our generation, it's a little different meaning than it was back then. Usually it's because as we were growing up, we were mocking our parents of how stupid they were. You know what I mean? So I think that's why I dug South Park. Because, on certain things, not everything. So yeah, it was cool though. So moving forward, basically, I was getting more to the lines of, what are we teaching our kids, bro? Like, us as the generation, we're supposed to stand up and show the kids how it was done. A lot of us did, and a lot of us didn't. And I'm seeing these children walking around saying certain things that don't mean what they meant, like they actually mean. We did it to mock our parents, because that was our jam. You know what I'm saying? So like when we grow up, we play like that. So it was just like really interesting to see the differences between kids that grew up a certain way and then kids that grew up another. And for example, like Zoe, and her family, they don't really see each other a lot. And her cousin, excuse me, they were raised totally different. Zoe was raised to speak her mind and mean what she says. And then the other girl was raised totally different. Like, you it's a calm atmosphere. It's like you don't talk back to your mom, you don't disrespect her. You know what I'm saying? You don't do any of that. That's how we were raised. Like, don't you better not. You better not. Well, this generation is different. We're more like, what the fuck ever. You know what I mean? But see, it's like, it's different now. So I'm seeing the generation gap. So I'm finally understanding that because I'm like, no, we're all people. You know, when you're young and dumb, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, my young and dumb days, never again. Thank you. So like, you know, I'm trying to look at things in a better perspective, and I'm actually content with this, you know, the situation. But in others, I'm not. So I think, like, to my main point of the whole thing is I need to be more thorough. Like, blunt is okay, but, you know, there's a time and a place for it. You know, and I'm learning that. And it's crazy because I've walked around my whole life like, you know, what the fuck am I doing? Why are people upset? And then now I understand. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not doing that shit no more. So I'm not perfect. I still have my moments, but it's so much better than what it was. Because I learned sometimes it's best not to speak your mind on certain things. I'm not saying everything, but just in dealing with people, you basically have to learn those people, you know? So, like, for instance, me and my buddy Max, dude, we're unfiltered when we talk. We're having a good time. We're just bullshitting, you know? And there's serious moments too, but, you know, we have a certain connection to where, okay, I can do this. Now, when I'm in the classroom setting, which is really awesome, I see how important it is not to be that way. Because just because it's not disrespectful, you know, to your homeboy doesn't mean it's not disrespectful to someone else. So I'm learning that. You know, I'm learning my ways around stuff. So, you know, and I've done a lot of apologizing because now I see, like, how I was affecting others. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be that person no more. So I kept my mouth shut. You know what I mean? I just kind of shut it off like a faucet. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this, you know, whole ranting about people. I want to rant about good things and relevant things, you know? And it's like, you don't realize it in the moment when you're being blunt with someone. You're actually being blunt broadcasting. So I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, that was not cool. So, like, I started, instead of, you know, dropping names, I would drop, like, you know, code words. Just explaining my feelings on the situation. Of course, there's two sides and there's the truth. So, you know, it's kind of like, I just put my feelings or my point of view on, you know, what I think should have happened or what could have happened to prevent. I'm all about preventing conflict. Because my thing is, you know, I grew up rough, and most people do. But those of you that have the luxury, you really don't understand how much people like us, not any certain race, grew up. A lot of us grew up different. You know, a lot of us had some chill parents. A lot of us had some really, really strict parents. You know what I'm saying? Just all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I think as a generation, we need to step the hell up and, you know, start realizing, dude, we're fucking goofing off in their eyes, even though in our eyes we're getting it done. You know what I'm saying? So like there are some that are just effing off. Okay, but there's others that aren't effing off. We're actually doing things and trying to stay productive. So it's basically that simple. We need to start looking at jobs differently. We need to start looking at people differently. Learn the person before you start, trying to throw some humor in there. Wing them onto it. I found winging them onto it is better than just outright being it. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I mean? Because I have a funny character. I like to smile because I was so sad for a long time. I was sad when I was a child. So it's kind of like I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of being mad. I'm tired of being angry about things that were nothing now. They're just bullshit. So, yeah, I keep myself away from oh Lord, here comes. Away from all the negative stuff. And when there's negative now, I don't react to it. I just kind of blow it off. And just keep it pushing because I don't want to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put myself in that position. And there's this old saying, you know, treat others how you want to be treated, but also know who's a friend and who is not. And I'm finally recognized who is, who's not. And I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, during all this bullshit, the only person that I could say, like, as far as my friends go, that stuck around and still, communicates and whatever, didn't MIA on me. You know what I'm saying? So that was my buddy Max. So I appreciate that, dude. Even though I told you what was going on and how things were going, like, you didn't, like, spread my shit everywhere. You know what I mean? So, it's just, I really appreciate him. I do. He's an awesome guy. And he's very respectful. And I appreciate that. So that goes back to what I mean about parenting. He was raised right. Handle your shit fun on the side, but do your shit. That's the type of dude he is, and I commend him for that. So, and he sends me like job opportunities. That's a true friend, dude. Who the hell stops in the middle of their day for someone they don't care about to be like, yo, bro, so I found this here. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't mind doing stuff for him at all. I enjoy it. So, anyways, back to the main thing. So that's pretty much what sums it up. The language was my main point here. So, from start to finish. So, yeah. So, guys, let's step it up. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, I hope you guys are having a great day. And I shall talk to you on the flip-flop. Peace.
Speech on. Stop recording.